or not?
Yes and no. Sometimes you think scoring down, especially if it's a horse you've driven a number of times, if he's scoring down and seems sounder and fresher, that's an indication he'll give you a good race. Many times they'll score down good and race terrible. I like to think this game is a lot like golf. Every time you think you got it figured out, it's very humbling. You find out you don't, and they can fool you. But sometimes they'll give you an indication scoring down that they're maybe better than they were the week before. But horses battle sickness so much that they can seem great until you put them up to high speed, and then they just can't finish because of sickness. Well, you can just fire them up and get their attention in the post parade, and have them try and get them a little bit afraid of you in behind the gate. But that only works 5% of the time or less.
And one last question, because it's getting close to 1 o'clock. Yes. That's just an ongoing question about whether a heavier driver is if a heavy driver is a liability on an off track. I know earlier in tests that we ran here at Vernon Downs, when Clarence Gaines, founder of the track, was alive, we tried to determine the drag on a horse, and we found that on a fast track there was absolutely no difference. On a heavy track there was a difference. When the horse left at one speed and tried to gain momentum to another speed, there was a drag. But I don't know if you have found, John, do heavier drivers have a handicap on an off track?
I don't think the off track makes that big a difference, especially in this day and age. With our stone dust tracks, they don't get deep like they used to. The tracks used to get much deeper and they would sink down. Now they just get hard, and there's a little stuff on the top, so they don't really sink down. I've seen it too often, even on fast tracks, where guys that are giving away 40 or 50 pounds, I think they're at a disadvantage. I know scientifically they say no. I don't believe that. I think if you're giving away 10 or 20 pounds, it's not a big deal. But you get up over 40, 60 pounds, I've seen it too often.
Yeah, I think the drivers are just not able to maneuver as well as the lighter drivers. Here, I think this track is a little faster and harder when it's wet, and therefore I wouldn't say that the drag is as important here as it might be on a track that was still of the dirt or loam surface. There's an awful lot of questions we could ask, John. Yes? Do you think Gallo Blue Chip's the best 3-year-old pacer, John?
I think he's been the best this year. There's no question. You win the stakes that he's won. He's proven himself to be the best overall. Do I think he's dominant? No. But he's a real good colt, and he's certainly been the best of this group. But I think there's some other colts out there capable of beating him, and they will beat him again in the stakes that are coming up the rest of the summer and the fall.
All right, thank you very much. I just, on behalf of the officials, the management staff here at Vernon Downs, I want to thank John Campbell. Harness racing really needs an ambassador today. Of course, many years, Stanley Dancer, Delvin Miller were the ambassadors of the sport, and of course Stanley Bergstein from Harness Tracks of America. But John Campbell has done not only wonderful things on the track, but he's beginning to give back to the sport for all the things that have given him through the years. And I certainly want to thank John Campbell for taking time out of his busy schedule to come here to Vernon Downs and to answer your questions and meet you here this afternoon. Now, John is going to be going in underneath. Well, he may sign some autographs here. We had plans for him to go underneath and sit at a table out of the sunshine, but he will be glad to take your questions, answer questions, or give you his autograph. He'll be here for a little while before he goes to lunch till approximately 1:15, 1:30. So feel free to come up and meet John. I also want to thank Lon Fershone, the president of the Harness Horse Association of Central New York, for the part that he has played in making sure that John got here safely to the track today and showing him around to the various horsemen, and just everybody involved. I want to thank you for meeting John Campbell. It was a pleasure for me, and I hope for you. And now I'm going to go upstairs to Matt Moran, who will give you the changes for the first race. First post today has been delayed till 1:10. Matt Moran will now give you the changes for today's racing card, at least in the daily double. Thank you.